Well, but I, I can't believe that's what we were talking about with Steven Jackson. Though the value is going to be, the value you're not getting much in return for him, especially in the short term.
No, but it's for someone who's going for it all.
Right.
And Blue Line, I know he was interested in taking Michael Turner off of. I know he'd be tempted. Plus, Julio Jones has a hamstring issue. I'll deal with that.
I really want to get my hands on AJ Green.
Oh yeah, good luck with that, man. That's his foundation. Him and Des Bryant together. He could go all the way. Is one night just gonna explode.
A powder keg, Paint. A powder keg.
A powder keg?
Yeah, he's just gonna explode. Des Bryant, AJ Green. That's a powder keg. Well, Detroit's going to be a real good team for quite a long time, Paint. When you talk about Java Best and LaShore next year, Stafford looks great. Megatron, Nate Burleson, Brandon Pettigrew. They're a team to be reckoned with. They're not going anywhere for a long time. Them and the Packers is the new pecking order. Or, the Packers and then them. I don't see anybody now. I know that they lost to San Francisco. And
San Francisco's someone that can hurt you too.
Well, you should have watched that game with us, Paint. That was, we were watching Detroit and San Francisco, and that was a hell of a game to watch.
Yeah, I went to some pumpkin tossing out of a cannon.
Nice. Speaking of that, dude, I want to go lawnmower. I want to go see a lawnmower race while it's still in season. I think we still have a couple weeks to see that.
What's that?
To see a lawnmower race.
Oh, really?
Yeah, pumpkin tossing, potato shooting, and lawnmower racing, dude.
Oh, man.
You didn't...
Like the pumpkin cannon was its magic wore out after the second one time. That's awesome.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And it's, Julio Jones, Crimson Tide, Blue Line, wanting to go for it all. And he has enough receivers. Julio Jones doesn't even start on his team. And he'd be a number one on my team.
Yeah, you're definitely have not over.
My receivers are awful. My receivers.
The last 48 hours have definitely caused you a lot of questioning of your own wide receiving core.
Oh, dude, they were fine last year. They had a big problem. They're huge. I mean, I cut Jordy Nelson because you just couldn't tell. Now, but he's doing it on like flash in the pan, one reception here, one reception there for like 80. And who knows, man? Steven Jackson, he's still producing, and I think he can help someone.
I wish it were me. I don't think we can quite work out the deal.
I don't think why would you even want him?
Exactly. I mean, I'm trying to build a long-term, thing here. I wish.
I'll trade him too.
Well, I'm just saying. I wish my team were. I wish that my team could benefit from, and it's just unfortunately they won't. You know what I mean? They wouldn't. From Steven Jackson. Now, like a Gresham, I'd love to add, but at the expense of draft picks,
No, I'm gonna figure something. After my waivers come through, I'll figure something with Gresham.
I'd be happy to give you Ed Reed straight up, but that's not exactly a fair deal.
Why would I want an old D back?
Right, exactly. That's why I'm saying it's not exactly a fair deal. I have to agree with. I have to acknowledge that.
If I was fucking 5-1, yeah, but I'm 1-5, and not getting any better.
Paint, you're staring at the abyss of finishing behind Jimmy Klein. Something 2 weeks ago that would have been unthinkable.
Yeah, I just cannot. A lot of my guys are playing well. It's the wide receivers are fucking. Oh, my father put Cruz in the lineup and he's nothing. It's my lineup submission too, and it's the Raiders are going to get a new quarterback soon if they haven't signed Garrard already.
Who's that? Oakland?
They're looking to trade for Carson Palmer, but the Bengals refuse to trade him.
You're talking about the Raiders?
Yeah.
I don't think.
They went right after Carson Palmer when Jason Campbell was out for the season.
Well, I mean, I personally don't think that's necessary. I mean, but I'm a Kyle Bowler guy. I wanted Kyle Bowler on the Vikings a few years ago.
Well, they don't seem to have faith in him. They're going after a bunch of guys.
Well, yeah, but
and discussed the trade with Kyle Orton.
Well, they have every right to. Paint. Their team is what? What are they? They're 3-2, right? 4-2. They've beaten the Jets. They weren't completely uncompetitive against New England. They're in a weak division that they went undefeated against last year. They have every right to try to do something this year, and they should. I'm surprised they didn't, try to get a better backup in there before Campbell went down.
Well, I think they were calling Carson Palmer and the Bengals yesterday. And the Bengals just refused to let him go. Which is fucking...
Well, it's the owner. Even if you ask Boomer Esiason, like his Boomer talks about this all the time, in the morning on Boomer and Carton, he's always talking about how that owner just doesn't have a clue. He's spiteful, and he's proving that to be... He's proving it right now.
Yeah, it's obvious. So, Tim Tebow era is ready to begin. I have him. And I'm pretty psyched.
Yeah, I know. Well, you won't be playing Tim Tebow anytime soon. Not, maybe on Tom Brady's bye week.
That's this week. So I start Colt McCoy or Tim Tebow.
Wow. I'd rather have Andy Dalton, Pate. I think I snatched up Andy Dalton just in time. Andy Dalton went like 21 of 26 last week or something like that.
Dude, he's not bad. That was a great pick by the whatchamacallit, but he dropped him. So you got him.
I got him.
They're 3-2, the Bengals.
They are. The Bengals could win that division if Pittsburgh...
Or they're 3-3. They got a bye week this week.
Pate, actually they're 4-2. You're mistaken. The Bengals are 4-2. And if Pittsburgh stumbles at all, they're going to win that division.
The Ravens are still over there.
Who? The Browns?
The Ravens.
Oh, the Ravens. Oh, yeah, you're right. Yeah, we forget about Baltimore. I always put them in the South with Tennessee and Indy and Houston. But no, they're in the North.
On a shitty team, and he's still putting up the numbers. He amazes me.
Who?
Maurice Jones-Drew. He's still putting up numbers.
And he's sharing, carries with... I saw Deji Kareem in there, and they have another running back who takes the ball there. So MJD is nothing. You're not getting rid of MJD anytime soon.
No, it's Steven Jackson. Those are two that I would get rid of, one of the two. And I'd rather get rid of Steven Jackson. Maurice Jones-Drew, man, he's an original pump planner. That's what it comes down to. More reliable. Much more reliable.
Frank Gore?
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped, man. I mean, although I'm 1-5, I'm going to make some, I like the direction the team's going to go in the next week.
Payne, I actually watched, speaking of Cincinnati, I actually watched that game more than I did the San Francisco game.
Yeah.
And I can tell you, one, that I'm impressed with Cincinnati's defense. Both Atiyah Rubin and Carlos Dunlap, I think it's Carlos Dunlap, both have touchdowns in the last 2 weeks off the defensive line. They're getting to the quarterback, and they didn't seem to be creating a ton of turnovers. Although Curtis Painter is a a decent quarterback as far as not creating turnovers. At least it looks that way thus far. But their defense, that their defense is ranked number 1 in the league. Cincinnati's defense. And this is what I'm telling you. They're 4-2. They got the league's number 1 ranked defense as far as yards allowed. First time their defense has been ranked this good in 20 years. And Andy Dalton, they have a good running game in Sed Benson. And this was my other point. What encourages me watching that game, they handed that ball a lot to Bernard Scott. It seemed like Bernard Scott was in there every 4th or 5th down, was in there for a couple of snaps.
That's good, man. That's what you need.
They have not. They're trying him out. They're gonna give him a fair look. And when Benson gets suspended, I'll be starting. I'll have to start Bernard Scott.
I don't think he's gonna get suspended.
I don't think he is either. Now that this thing has seemed to be drawn out this long.
The reason why is because that was during the lockout.
Right, exactly.
And
I'm telling you, that team could go to the playoffs.
My running backs, I could trade Steve Jackson, and I still got 4 running backs that I could $10, and I could still make a run if I could beat Brad this weekend.
Oh, you could still make a run. Last thing about the Bengals paint too is they're playing a last place schedule, so keep that in mind. But yeah, of course,
it's not as drastic as it used to be because now there's 4 divisions in each league.
right. Okay. But still, they're
not that much of a difference between the first place schedule and the last place schedule.
yes, but Pate though, they're playing the Dolphins and not the Jets, Bills, nor Patriots. They're playing the Jaguars and no. Yes, they're playing all the South teams. Out west, there are who finished out west last year was Denver, right? So they're playing Denver instead of the other 3 teams out west. Well, Kansas City doesn't seem to be that good, but especially in the East, they don't have to face 3 playoff caliber teams in the East. They get to play Miami.
Well, they did play the Bills.
Wait, this year?
Yeah, they beat the Bills.
So the Bills finished last year. And they already beat Buffalo. That's right. That was Buffalo's hiccup game.
Dude, it's not, things just aren't, things haven't been too good for the first 6 weeks for the Puffin Banners. It's a big turnaround for the Klein. Like 2 weeks ago, and you're just like...
I was writing it off, dude. I was...
The lineup by week 7, and now I'll say, like, we're going to go 2-4, yeah!
2-4, 2 in a row, man. Imagine if I win another week, and then I'm starting to really think playoffs.
And it's sort of funny, even Blue Line said, I always do the worst against the Klein.
He didn't show up, dude. He didn't show up, and it reminds me that, not every week, not every team is going to score 220 every week. It's just not, what I'm saying? It's not feasible. So, it reminds me that, I can compete. I'm not going to be putting up 240 without Peyton Manning. That's going to be virtually impossible. Maybe when I figure out my running back situation. Obviously, I know I'm going to be starting Fred Jackson. I hope the Jets can start to hand to Sean Green. And then, I don't know, maybe Thomas Jones emerges. Obviously, I'll have Bernard Scott, or maybe I will for a few weeks. I'd like to maybe get my hands on Sed Benson. Maybe I can get my hands on Sed Benson. That might be...
I'm going to have a fire sale if I beat him this weekend. He's already announced it to me.
So I might be able to get Sed Benson.
Yeah, he will definitely be happy to get rid of Sed Benson. I know that for a fact. He said to me, if he loses to me this week, he's going to go to a barn sale. And I said, well, if I lose, I'm kind of already having a barn sale whether I lose. Because I have enough pieces to still compete this year if I can put together a string.
Hey, you go if you're 1-6...
1-5.
No, if you go 1-6...
Yeah.
This is week 7 coming up, right?
Yeah.
You go 1-6, dude. I don't see the run happening. Actually, though, the only...
I'm not going to make too many changes. I got a lot of young pieces in place, and I'll be more than happy to go after running. I'm going to trade Steven Jackson. I have to trade Steven Jackson because I could go 1-6, and I don't want to be stuck with him. So I want to trade him Saturday. And yeah, so I'm pretty pumped up about it.
You're pumped up about trading away one of your favorite players.
Yeah, it's time. It's just time, dude. I'm cutting Cooley this week. I'm making a lot. You're starting to see the old pump and painter facade coming down. Cooley's going to the waiver wire.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No.
He's gone, dude. He's out for at least 6 weeks. He could be out for the season.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Going to a whole, I want Julio Jones. That's my first choice. Justin's been the most adamant about getting Steve Jackson off him, but I had to end up going back door on him and trading Julio Jones, Crimson Tide, dude.
Wow, Paint. I just, I got to say, though, to watch Steven Jackson leave your team would be stunning.
And Chris Cooley in the same week.
I was wrong I meant Geno Atkins before, not a Ty Rubin. Ty Rubin's on Cleveland, but Geno Atkins is a name you're going to start to hear, Paint. It was Geno Atkins and Dunlap had touchdowns in consecutive weeks. You're going to hear things about Geno Atkins, defensive tackle in Cincinnati.
Don't forget that guy Michael Johnson who can fucking wreak havoc.
Yeah.
He doesn't score well fantasy-wise, but he can.
I picked up Michael Bennett of the Bucks, and I think you're still going to see him emerge. I think he's still making a name for himself.
No,
I got a 7-point week.
Devon Best is on showcase tonight. If I don't see him gelling with the new quarterback, he might go too.
I got to get my linebacker. Touch My Uncle's getting double digits from their linebackers. I got to figure this out.
What do you have? What did Dequel Jackson do?
Yeah, two tackles for loss, 9 total tackles.
That's Dequel Jackson. That's why I forgot to pick up while trying to figure out the waiver thing. I forgot to put a waiver in for him.